What is up, guys? Orbital-Pilot back here once again in the world of Warthunder. This time taking to the skies in the J2M5. Now this is a premium Japanese plane that you can get. It's actually fairly cheap. It's under 5,000 golden eagles, I believe. And it's an interesting pick for what I did. So if you guys didn't know, I did get my 1500 sponsorship with Gaijin. So I have been using that to kind of get ahead, and I realized the Japanese line is kind of lackluster. I have most of the props grinded out, but I don't have the jets. Now, of course, the Japanese don't have the greatest jets in the world, but they do have some cool ones. And then after this, all I really have is the rest of the Russian line, and of course the Italian line. And I'm not looking forward to either of those because personally, I'm not a huge fan of Russian planes. I'm not a huge fan of the Italian ones right now. So, you know, but I'll get around to it for sure. So, I needed a Japanese plane, and actually there was an option between this one and the one with there's two premium ones, and one of them has 4 20mm cannons against this one that has two 30mm. Now, it was an interesting pick because personally, this one actually performs a little bit better in turns, climb rate, speed, everything like that, but only by a tiny bit. And the other advantages are things like this one has two 30mm, and really that's the only major difference. Now, it was an interesting battle of what I should do, because personally, the thought of only having 84 rounds is kind of terrifying. And personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Japanese 20mm, so both of them were kind of off-putting. But I decided to take a risk and choose this one, the one with twin 30mm, and not to mention it has a slightly lower BR, so I mean that is nice. But I'm just very, very glad I did go ahead and get the one with two 30mm. Although this plane only has 84 rounds of ammunition, let me tell you, it has plenty of ammunition. Plenty of ammunition to go kill people. This is honestly one of the best 30mm planes I think I've ever flown. You have things like the Horton 229, the ME-262, things like that with 30mm. Personally, I hate the cannons on the ME-262. They're too low velocity. They have a lot of bullet drop, just not the gun for me. The 30mm on the Horton are fairly decent, but the way they're placed kind of makes it difficult. And in my personal opinion, they don't hit like this plane. This plane, a 30mm, will cut planes in half, normally 1 or 2 rounds. The 30mm on the Horton 229, I'm sorry guys, are like, I swear sometimes like I'm shooting marshmallows. And although that shouldn't be the case, I don't know if it's a different round that I'm using on the Jap plane, but oh my god, these things are potent. So I mean, that's really, really nice, because that was probably my biggest concern with the plane, is how I was going to actually do with only 84 rounds. And let me tell you, I think I've flown 5 or 6 matches now, and I've gotten more than a kill or 2 in every single one. Obviously, the first games I wasn't the best aim with them, but now that I've kind of gotten used to them, extremely good guns. So, although this is not a full plane review, I will come back and do an actual whether you should buy or maybe hang on to your golden eagles. But personally, right now for me, I was very glad I made this purchase instead of the one with 420mm. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of 420mm, not the Japs. Now, if they were Hispanos, much different story. If they were the ANM2 cannons, different story. But the Japs, I just don't like. When you have 20mm, I like to be able to not really draw a line like 50 cals, but it seems like in stuff like the A6M2, the A6M3, people are able to fly in between my bullets, which is extremely aggravating. Now right here, a Spitfire, like I said, these are shots that I mostly miss most of the time, but these 30mm are actually really pretty decent. As we can see, immediately cut off his wing. No problem, and it used, what, 14 shots, I think? So, as you can see, it doesn't take much to kill people in this plane. The bullets, I mean, these 30mm have very little drop from what I've noticed. Which is weird, coming from the 20mm, but it's nice, because they fire decently fast, and although you may not have as much ammunition, it does not take nearly as much to take someone out. So, like I said, the cannon's major plus. The engine on this is incredible. In a straight line, this plane is really quick. You can run it on wet for a long time. Just keep in mind, once you do overheat your engine, like most engines, it will tend to keep on trying to overheat. So back off wet for a second, and even at 100%, this thing cools down ridiculously quick. So that's really nice with a big engine like this. And the maneuverability is also fairly decent. Now, I wouldn't go turn fighting Spitfires. Kind of use this more as an energy fighter, like I tend to do, but it is really nice to have kind of benefits of every category in a plane. So, going on, Spitfire climbing up to this. I don't even know what they're doing, but I mean, it seems to be working for my ally. So I mean, whatever works for him. I'm gonna try to dive down on him. Now that, like I said, this plane is extremely quick, so you do have to be careful on how fast you do dive, because although I've never ripped the plane, I'm guessing I would not personally go more than 550, 560. Now, if this was the D13, to be honest, I've never actually successfully ripped the D13 just out of a dive. That thing is like held together with like, I truly do not understand. Maybe they fixed it, but I don't think that thing used to have a rip speed, I swear. So, two people, one of them smart, actually both of them are smart, both pull off, and I go right back into the vertical. I'm not going to waste any energy with this plane. Turn on WEP and just immediately go back up. No interest in low altitude dogfighting. That would kind of be giving up my biggest advantage. There's no reason to do that when it's possible that there's still more people in this match. So, diving down again, like I said, don't ever give away your advantage free. Spitfire, I'm going to follow him out, and we're going to see what he does. Now, he won't beat you in a straight line. Maybe in a dive it would be closer, but there's just no way he has the energy I do. Try to get in, get a nice shot on his wing. As you can see, the round explodes, and I thought he was going to live, but yeah, he goes right into the ocean. So as you can see, just a couple of shots, and most people are absolute toast. That's what this plane seems to be good at. It's not even really one of those planes where it's like, well, you have to have, you have to wait for your advantage, or, wait for your opportunity to strike. You're most times in battles, you are in control of the situation. You get to choose when to disengage and when to engage, which is really my favorite type of plane. Don't get me wrong, planes that you can kind of always bait people with are nice sometimes, but personally, I would always rather be in control of the dogfight. So try to pull up, get a nice hit on him, but sadly enough, not enough to bring him down. You can see that these rounds do tend to explode. I think on all both previous kills, the rounds have exploded. Now, of course, he did go down, but that's just a kill assist. So as we can see, I haven't even used half my, or pretty much half my ammunition. 3 people are down. I've pulled the trigger 3 times, which is ridiculously nice. I find it when flying other planes. Some planes you have to hold the trigger down, especially with things like 50 cals, which of course you get a lot more ammunition, so you're able to do. But personally, I would rather have a couple of shots and a couple of kills. 3 trigger pulls and 3 kills, well, 2 kills and assist. That's what I'm much more about. Now here's where I make my actual. This is the biggest mistake of the match. So I go down to shoot a landing craft. Miss. The landing craft are weird in this game, let me tell you. You guys probably know that, but they're odd ducks to hit. They I swear they don't register hits all the time. When they do, sometimes they blow immediately up, and sometimes you have to sink all your ammunition into them. But personally, from what I found out, I haven't tested these guns on tanks or anything like that, but I'm gonna stick to probably planes, plane kills, because not only do they give the most RP, but they're the most entertaining. It seems to be what these cannons kind of shine at. I know stuff like the guns on the premium J2M5 used to be able to penetrate tanks. I'm not sure if they still do, but really, if you're buying this plane to go ground pounding, I don't really know what you're doing. There's much better planes, to do that. So flying out, like I said, this is where I make my biggest mistake. Instead of going back, you know, I've overheated my engine 100%. So really anything I do, any dogfight, it's going to be kind of worsened, and especially these types of people that just sit over their AAA. The AAA in this game are insane, but you know, more on that later. Like that's insane. That's ridiculously good acting. Look at those shots. Those are some good people down there. But you know, Spitfire up ahead. I'm gonna try to go do something about him. I don't actually know how many people are left. It will turn out that there's a couple. What are they? I don't know. A couple ground attackers left in the game. So I'm not gonna play out the match for as long as it goes because it kind of gets boring near the end. But Spitfire up ahead. Like I said, there's not much I can do because that happens. So I'm going to turn right back around, and so far the AAA has not shot me. I don't really know how, but I'm just going to turn immediately back around. Now, at this point, I forgot we had an actual airbase. So I'm going to go back to the carriers, and then I'm going to realize that we do have an airbase and turn immediately around because this is much easier to land on an airbase. And there we go. So there's the damage. I can no longer cool down my engine. I have an oil leak. But, I mean, to wrap this gameplay up, guys, this plane so far has been absolutely amazing. I'm not going to say go out and buy it right now. Personally, I'm glad I bought it. Let me have a couple more days in it, maybe a week or two, and then I can do a full review and tell you if it's actually worth buying. But until then, guys, if you like the gameplay, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have a specific plane you want, you can also, you know, always refer to that down below. I will have a slight update coming out. I'm updating a couple things on the channel, re-recording intros, things like that. So I'll probably have a video separate, just explaining what I'm doing. But until then, guys, fly safe, and I'll see you guys next time.